What's up, guys, and welcome back to Book of Entertainment. So, the General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, he held a press briefing today. This media briefing that has gone viral, on social media and everywhere else. And Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi revealed so many things, so much with regards, to how there is like the handling of these dockets that are being taken away from the investigators and so much involvement from other like powerful figures. So one of the issues that Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi touched on was that of artists. So Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi didn't like specifically name AKA, but you could actually tell that he is actually referring to AKA as he was speaking there. What he revealed, about what happened to AKA is something really, really big, because the police themselves, they did the investigations and they arrested, multiple suspects who have believed, to have played different roles in the planning and execution of the incident in itself. And that progress was actually hailed as a breakthrough by both the public and the family of AKA. But however, there was one thing that was still missing, and it was the person who coordinated the group, like the mastermind, like somebody who had started it all and was more of like controlling the link. That guy, they couldn't, at that time, they did not manage to figure out who it was. But today, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi revealed everything. So fast forward to today, when Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi did this progress, this media briefing, he revealed, that the investigations into these high profile cases that involve local entertainers like AKA is being slowed down by internal issues. So Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi was expressing concern that certain individuals in senior positions are causing delays in investigations. So Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi was like making a call for accountability and transparency in how such matters are being handled, especially when public figures are involved. So Mkhwanazi said that, what, while detectives have done the hard work of identifying people of interest and linking them to past incidents through forensic tools, the final steps, like issuing formal warrants of arrest and court action, they've been surprisingly slow. In some cases, suspects are believed to be connected to earlier similar cases are actually known, but no legal action is being taken against them. So that line there by General Mkhwanazi is actually very huge, to say that, what, these suspects that are connected to these cases, we know them. We have done the investigations, we know them, but it's surprising, that no legal action is being taken against them. So with that line, there is also another line, that General Mkhwanazi also revealed, in that there was something like 100 and something dockets that were taken away from investigators by Sevilla. So you can see, that KZN police, they've done their investigations, like they already know, like the suspects themselves, but somehow the progress is really slow in itself. So despite, all these obstacles, Mkhwanazi was assuring the public that his team is committed to seeing this process through. So he was emphasizing that the goal is not just to make arrests, but to ensure a clear and honest conclusion that it is reached. South Africans have been vocal in their support for full justice. And the commissioner made it very, very clear, that no matter how complicated the road ahead may be, but the pursuit for truth and fairness will remain top priority. So because of this, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has been praised by so many people, and he is being, there are calls, for him to be made the National Police Commissioner, because when you put him at that top position, then he is able, to make even more decisions, without like requesting somebody above him for permission, because it's like it's Mkhwanazi who is actually being slowed down, despite him himself, having done all the investigations and actually waiting for approval from those who are above him. And he revealed even more, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, he was urging like law enforcement officials, and government officials to put more focus on stopping the supply of harmful influences in communities, and to prioritize complex cases that involve public personalities. So Mkhwanazi said that, it's time to move away from minor enforcement actions and start addressing the bigger picture. So according to him, this includes tightening security measures around artists and ensuring investigations are completed without delay. So with this big revelation, what does it mean? It's not something, that can just be swept under the carpet, and we just move on tomorrow like nothing happened. Something has to be done, like action has to be done. And I've been seeing calls on social media for Senzo Mchunu to be fired, and at the same time others were calling for a commission of inquiry to be set up, because obviously in as much as maybe Ramaphosa can, he has the powers obviously to fire Senzo Mchunu, can he just fire him based on what Mkhwanazi just said? Of course he can, but he has to do his investigations on his own, so that he gets a credible report that he can act upon. And sadly that may involve something like a commission of inquiry. But that kind of a commission of inquiry, it can be something that can be done privately, and it might not be public like the Zondo Commission one. So it's one of the things that can happen, because at the present moment nobody has an appetite for that kind of a commission of inquiry. So those were the revelations by Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, to say that, what, we've done our investigations on what happened to these artists. We know these suspects, but however the progress is slow, but we are not going to give up. So that is what Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi just revealed. But what made him, what pushed him to go all out, and do a media briefing and really put this out to the public? Maybe the guy, was just so frustrated, like he's seeing, that I'm doing all this work, but somehow there is somebody who is stalling this progress, who is working against what we are doing. He may have seen, that there's maybe some individuals that are corrupt, and if I go public, and definitely like the matter is going to spread like wildfire, and it would force Ramaphosa to take an action, to make a decision, because there are two sides already, we have the Mkhwanazi side and the Senzo Mchunu side. And with the allegations that Mkhwanazi has laid out there is no way these two sides, can live harmoniously together. So it's what Mkhwanazi has done out there, and he is ready, and he is really prepared, for action to be taken on this one, and they just cannot wait, and including everybody out there, we just cannot wait, to see what is going to happen out there. I'll catch you guys on the next one.